We owe this guy a round of applause. He escorted Ralph out of the building. Funny guy. Guys, give it up for Real Rich.
I was remembering that I never told you guys about the time my mom tried to avoid going to prison by using me as bait to catch a child molester. True story. You think it just stops at Rick James? No. Yeah, my mom was on heroin, and what she would do is she would write back checks all over a little small town, and so they caught up to her real fast. And so she got really high, and she called me in the room, and she just made up this plan. She's like, dude, there's a child molester down the street, and we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him, Jimmy, because she called me Jimmy. We're gonna get him, Jimmy. And she got me all pumped up, and I'm like, yeah. But I had no fucking idea of her plan. Her plan was to use me as the bait, but I didn't put two and two together. So this is what she did. She called the police while I was there, and she told them everything. He's at the corner of the projects, because he was in apartments right behind my projects. Now, if anyone here knows about projects, you know that if there are apartments next to the projects, those are also projects. You just have to pay rent. You fucking lost that deal. Okay, so my mom gets me in the car. It's like fucking 11:30 at night. And we stop and we get a huge thing of Dr. Pepper, because that's what heroin addicts drink. And fucking, we drive around the block, fucking about 25 times. But every time we get in front of this guy's apartment, she slows down. And she keeps coming up with different ideas to get me to get the fuck out of the car. And I didn't catch on to like the 19th time. So like, imagine you're driving around in circles all night around the same fucking place with your mom. It's 11:30 at night. You're excited. It's 11:30. And you're 9, you know? And your mom's like, oh, go pick up the trash on that corner real quick. And you get out of the car and you go pick up the trash. What the fuck is going on? Get back in the car, drive in a circle around 2 fucking blocks, and then get out of the car for a whole different reason. Go read me the number off that bus stop. So, I kept doing this. And finally, the guy came outside. And my mom gets out of the car, and she tells me to get out of the car. So we get out of the car, and I'm thinking we're going to get like fucking trash, or fucking, read a bus stop again. And no, she brings me up to this guy, and she's like, this is my son Jimmy. What do you think? And I'm like, Mom? That's what she asked the guy. Like, this was gonna work. Like, this was his best day ever. I won the lottery, right? And he's looking at her like, huh? And she's like, what do you think about my little boy? And I'm looking up at her, and he's looking at her, and she's looking around for the police. They're supposedly in on this shit. They never came. I imagine they're fucking laughing right now still to this day. Fucking, this lady's really gonna try to pawn off her son to get off of a drug charge. So, she went to prison because I guess I'm not good looking enough. You guys said no. I'm sorry, Mom. I let you down. Right. Also, I never told you about how my mom found out my ex-wife was pregnant. I was like 20 years old, and my mom was back from parole. Not from this last time of heroin, but a whole different time. And we decided to live together as adults, and fucking, we had an apartment. I got a girlfriend, I got her pregnant, I didn't want to tell my mom. And the parole officer came over for a check of my mom. And if you guys don't know, when your parole officer comes, they go through everything. They go through everything. They find everything. And they like to embarrass you. You know what I'm saying? So my mom's sitting there trying to defend a bunch of heroin needles, and I'm getting mad at her. I'm like, you told me you wouldn't be on this shit anymore? This is fucking bullshit, And then all of a sudden, the police come out with fucking my ex-wife's pregnancy papers talking about you're pregnant 2 months, And all of a sudden, my mom starts chewing me out in front of the cops. And it just was a very funny situation at the time. Apparently, you gotta be there to understand. That's all right. I was on a Christian website the other night, and it's hard for me to get Christian girls because I'm not a believer. Even though I've read like all 3 of the books twice, you know, prison. I don't get every concept. I don't believe everything they say. So I was trying to impress the girls on the Christian website, and I couldn't think of nothing else. I wanted to think of the best thing. So I wrote in my profile that I had holes in each of my hands. And I'm not getting any responses. And I thought he was like the main dude, and he's not. Actually, I got one response, and I fucked that shit up too, because I took her to Starbucks, and I thought I was being all crafty, and the motherfucker was like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Your sins." And then the motherfucker came out and said, "We got iced latte mocha for your sins." And she didn't laugh. And she walked home, and I went home without no Christian pussy. Lucky me. Thank you, Evan.
That's real, your sins rich, everybody. Keep it going. Hell yeah. On that Christian pussy hustle, man.